This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and welcome to yet another fan film review, Star Trek Renegades. I just watched Star Trek Renegades, and since I did a review of the miniseries Spec for the Past, and I've done my own stuff, and I've done a script story, that treatment that I read, of a fan film called Star Trek Uncharted, I decided to tackle the other one that came out this year as well. This just came out like days ago. Star Trek Renegades, and although it is just out on YouTube today, so now you're going to see a review of, well, it's more of a recap, because we're not actually going to show any footage from Renegades. It's from the creators of In Gods and Men, which was another Star Trek serial set in the classic universe. This one is set in the Next Generation time period, and in the same year as Star Trek Chimera, in 2388. Yes, we knew that, so we wanted to make sure we watched Renegades. Well, Mark's Cards hasn't seen it yet, but I had seen elements of it, pieces of it. So I had been shown the basic idea, the premise, and all that, because there was a Kickstarter way back when, and it was part of it. So. Very small part. The Kickstarter. We don't have a Kickstarter for Chimera. It was paid for before it started filming. Yeah. So, anyway, Star Trek Renegades was a proposed TV pilot, and it was just rejected by CBS Television, not Paramount, as they didn't want to go there. And they had actual actors. They had Tim Russ, Garrett Graham, and even Indahara, and they had Walter Koenig and a bunch of other well-known people in this movie, and even a bunch of actual Hollywood actors, including Star Trek Voyager's Tim Russ, I think also Garrett Wang, and some others. Yes, even they couldn't pitch a new Star Trek series. So if they had an inside for Star Trek Renegades right away that said, "Hey, we worked at Star Trek. Why can't we have a series? Here, let's do one." Even there, CBS said no. So it's unlikely that CBS or Paramount said yes to any other fan series out there. They gave Renegades a stipulation that don't make any money from this. You can't sell this DVD online. You can donate to the website when it comes out on Blu-ray and get it that way. But don't try to make a profit from the video. So it's on YouTube for free, and I have a free version watched on YouTube. So yeah, I've not purchased the DVD yet. That would technically be selling it, but that's later. Now, Star Trek Renegades. There have already been some fans. There have already been some fans that have complained about the movie and the acting abilities of the film. They've complained about the character sets and whatnot. Some of the makeup. Yeah, well, on the basis that this is a fan film, and on the basis that Star Trek Chimera 82405 from Trek War, they did a little contribution to it. We really, yeah, it would be funny if we said anything bad about it. It'd be strange. Renegade Studios, they would probably complain. So, but let's just break down the story. It is a fan film, and there are good actors in it. And there are not so good actors in it. Say that. Amateur actors in it. And that's fine. As long as you market this as a fan film and say, okay, it's a fan film, it's not meant to be an official Star Trek production. Obviously, if this was meant to be some kind of a pilot movie, they would then recast all of the actors that weren't professional with professional actors. And yeah, they would do that. But they didn't want to do that. They didn't pay them. Also, yeah, there's a lot of cameos in this. It's a fun sort of pre-50th anniversary movie with the TNG cast. It's like a reunion. Chimera will also be like a reunion, but closer to Gene Roddenberry's story than this was. It'll be closer to that. So it'll be closer to the Berman era Star Trek. This is sort of a DS9 Voyager thing, Renegades. It's a new cast hired by Pavel Chekhov to go and Tim Russ, Tuvok, Tim Tuvok, the character he plays, to go out into space and stop these aliens that have space warping gate technology. And they figured out a way to fold planets and make dilithium go away. It's not about the dilithium running out. That was this thing they threw in there in the previews, but that's not what it's about. It's about these aliens that have essentially Iconian gateways, and they use them to make planets go away. And of course, they threaten Earth as well. It's interesting. They had some decent ship models and designs. Apparently, Doug Drexler and some of those others helped on the designs of the ships. So none of the battles and model scenes were bad. They were top notch for a fan film, and not from a video game. That was good. The music seemed to be original, a cross between the new in Star Trek music and the music of later Deep Space Nine. It had. Some of the makeup was not great, but for a fan film, it was pretty good. There were times you could see the crease and the outline of the person's actual skin under the makeup, which they didn't fix. But or you could see like some of the details coming off. At one point, the rubbery mask on the one guy is like, but except for that. Renegades isn't all that bad. I mean, it's for what it is as a fan film. It tends to it gets it done. It does it. It's not for everyone. I'm sure if there are Deep Space Nine purists out there, they're probably like, "No, this isn't good enough," or they're probably thinking Battlestar Galactica. "Oh, that isn't good enough." "Oh, Battlestar Galactica." It's not new. It's trying to be new BSG. It is trying to be. But it isn't. And, so that is one of the drawbacks to it. I think I would have gone for a less gritty, dark sort of alternate Starfleet story, just on the basis that it's not really Star Trek. It's the new Star Trek. It's not Abrams, though. This is not an Abrams movie at all. So it's someone else, somewhere in between the other. Yeah, so as for the film, as a fan film, treated as a fan film, it's better than just about any other fan film out there. Because if you look at the other fan films where they have either really good ship models, which they took from a game, or they had some CD technology, or they have really good green screening, like an Odyssey or Hidden Frontiers. You got the green screen where you can kind of see the outlines, but it still works. We have Gods and Men as well. We're using the Callaway sets. There's a lot of Callaway in this. There's a lot of this is by the people that did both of Gods and Men and New Voyages Phase 2. So in terms of it being that's cool. It's those guys. So yes. I was talking about. They should have got somebody to help. But yeah, in this one, Renegades, it's... I had the same consternation with the acting that I had in the... with the other ones. However, a lot of the... I guess this actually came out somewhere else a week ago on another website, and now it's first on YouTube. So there were a few people talking about how they were ranting about the acting. And usually the ones that were ranting about the bad acting, though, were people that clearly can't act on their own YouTube channel. So, and I'm a notorious ham myself. I've never been professionally in the acting biz. I tend to write stories instead and do ham-fisted sort of YouTube videos. I don't profess to have been in Hollywood. I've been there visit as a tourist, but a couple of times, but never worked in the biz, as they say. But I have had script submissions and things, and I know about that. But it was a long time ago, so yeah, they were rejected. but the Now we've all been protected, but then you got to keep doing more of them, right? Got to get out there. So small time YouTube person, on location cat, going on about someone else's semi-professional fan film is kind of hypocritical, but funny. Yeah, so it's an enjoyable fan film. So treat it as a fan film. Don't treat it as a Star Trek series pilot. Treat it as a fan film that they put together, and that's as a fan film. It's fine. Yeah, so enjoy that. But yeah, there's a lot too much Renegade stuff for my taste. So Star Trek Chimera, my fan film with Mark's Cards, is more of a reunion of the Star Trek people, Picard and Locarno and Riker and crew come together. They go to solve this mystery about the universe being ripped apart. And there's no Stargates in it. It's Q that's doing it. Q and the Renegade group of Q are fighting. And they've caused the universe to go, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, it's an adventure space story with action figures. But mine is truer to some of the classic TNG episodes and Deep Space Nine episodes. A little bit of Voyager, and yeah, so it's more of an adventure with some dialogue and hopefully scenes that make sense. Renegades wanted to be, though, on the flip side, Renegades wanted to be a new series, I guess. They wanted to use this as a pilot. I couldn't really conceive of Paramount taking the story, really. Considering their guidelines back in the 90s and their guidelines now, no, they wouldn't have taken this story. It's too dark. So, like, no, they wouldn't have taken it. They probably want something a bit more upbeat. Than yeah. So, there you go. But that's probably what they told them. I don't know what they told. But, Renegades also, I don't want to rip into them too much because I did donate to them. But yeah, they could have find actors that were a little better at the craft, at reading lines and citing them out and whatnot, not just saying lines, but reading them. You don't just have, when you're doing an acting bit, and a line says, fire the photon torpedoes or something. Actually, things are put out there. Okay. Here we have, the mecha may fly. Well, it better fly. Still working on it. See, if I read that just straight out like it was a script and dialogue, two characters, Breaker and Ostrich. Actually, yeah. Breaker and Brawler. Breaker says, we found your old... Oh, yeah. Yeah. The mecha may fly. Okay, if you said the line, the mecha may fly, just straight like it was in the script, it wouldn't make any sense. But if you said, the mecha may fly, you're sort of implying that there's a little bit of... I'm not really looking at the script right now. Like, the mecha may fly. Yeah, so, it's how you do it. Which they should know at acting school. Because I took a little bit of that. Yeah. Anyway, problem. But yeah, so yeah, that's why there's just this disparity between the actors that are just kind of just saying their lines and doing it. There's also fans out there that crib dialogue from, and this story had some scenes like that in there. And it did break some of the rules of writing, which is probably why they didn't want it. You paying homage to something else that was better is not as good as doing that thing and coming up with something new and original. I realize it's difficult in Hollywood to do that. But as a fan film, it's different from a script you want to submit to Paramount. Yeah, they didn't run this past me. but yeah, it wasn't horrible. It was an enjoyable fan film. So I'm not going to completely lie it. And yeah, so Star Trek Renegades can be found on the Renegades channel on YouTube, and you can watch it. And currently, yeah, so um, yeah, it would appear that my fan film, Star Trek Chimera, which had a script written 10 years ago, it's been rewritten many times, that actually had nothing to do with this either. I was a little bit, but then when they showed the gateway and stuff like that, okay, yeah, so the gateways were mentioned in that other Uncharted thing too, but no, they don't go to Andromeda in this movie. I think that the guy writing that other story was like, "Is Renegades like mine?" And he was afraid that it was, but no, it's not. Nothing like this. This is not Star Trek Uncharted at all, and it's not even similar, except that there's rogues in it. Totally different. Yeah. So, yeah, the other guy doesn't need to worry. And Star Trek Chimera, it's nothing like it. I would say Chimera is on a par with some of the more fun Trek episodes and movies. This is a comedy, my version. This is the story here. Renegades is not a comedy; it's a drama. It's a drama that tries to tell jokes and sometimes fails. There's some strange. Yeah, they didn't have a lot of sets. I noticed they kept redressing that same orange set. That was odd, and I've done sets and stuff. And why did they choose that color? I just don't know why they did that. The costumes were a little off. They could have got the guy from Excalibur to help with those. Yeah, so, but yeah, 2388. So, yes, so theirs was in production way back when Chimera was in production too. So there's a lot of other fan films coming out in late 2015, early 2016. Chimera will be coming out probably early summer 2016 for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, and that is very awesome. So yes, and we're not going to be using any music and footage from the show, but rather we're going to come up with our own and see what happens. That's why it's taken so long. Like reinvent earlier stuff. But yeah, Renegades wasn't, except for the timeline. If it fit in the timeline anywhere in terms of Chimera, it'd be kind of fun to do that because it's in the same time period. Where would it fit? Renegades would probably fit in an offhanded version of Starfleet that probably is slightly before Chimera, I would say. Just because, the Section 31 thing and all that in the story doesn't really go with mine. So they would be doing their own thing and then Starfleet. But yeah. However, if you do Stardate now, this year would actually be 2392 coming up. So. But yeah, that's how long ago they were working on that one. And there is your sort of review of Star Trek Renegades, in which I sort of talked about my own stuff. Because, yeah. Anyway.